Morning, everyone. Today, my topic is Indian economy during 1950 to 1990. Now, we shall discuss about Indian economy under 1950 to 1990. First question arises in your mind: what is economic system? Economic system refers to a system which solve the central problems of an economy. The central problems of an economy arise because of a scarcity of resources. These problems are what to produce and how much to decide the type and quantity of goods. Second, how to produce, choice of technique of production. Third, for whom to produce, how distribution of goods would take place. Now discuss type of economic system. There are three types of economic system. First is market or capitalist economy. In capitalist economy, those goods are produced that are in demand. Second, socialist economy. The government decides what goods are to be produced in accordance with the needs of the society. Third is mixed economy. The government and the market together answer the three questions of what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Let us understand the difference among the three types of economic system. Difference among capitalism, socialism, and mixed economy on the basis of first, nature. In capitalism, it is a free economy where market forces of demand and supply organize economic activities. Centrally planned economy, a planned economy which is under direct control of government. Economic activities are regulated by the government. Mixed economy, important decisions are taken by the government and economic activities are conducted by the market. Second, base motive of production. Profit motive is the principal objective of production activities in capital economy. Social welfare is the principal objective of production activities in socialism, and profit motive in private sector and social welfare in public sector in mixed economy. Third base is role of government. There is no direct intervention by the government in capital economy. The government plays an active role in the process of production in socialism. Full control of government in public sector and partial control in private sector in mixed economy. Fourth base is solution to central problem. Central problems of what, how, and for whom to produce are solved through price mechanism in capital economy. Central problems are solved through planning mechanism in socialism. Both the price mechanism and planning mechanism function in mixed economy. Competition. Competition exists in market economy. No competition exists in socialism. Competition exists in private sector only in mixed economy. Demerit, it overlooks social interest in capital economy. It ignores consumer sovereignty in socialism. Public sector and private sector undertaking might show inefficiency and corruption if guided by self-motive in mixed economy. Example, America is the best example of capitalism. China is the best example of socialism, and India is best example of mixed economy. Now we shall discuss about economic planning. Economic planning is a system under which a set of targets is defined by the central authority of the country. These targets are to be achieved within a specified period of time, taking the resources of the country in consideration. Planning Commission states economic planning means utilization of country's resources in different development activities in accordance with national priorities. The goals of objectives of planning in India. Planning in India was initiated as a 5-year exercise to achieve a distinct set of objectives. Responsibility for overall planning was vested with the Planning Commission, which was set up in March 1950. The objective of 5-year plans are classified as short period objectives and long period objectives. Short period objectives are plan specific and are also called objectives of plans. These vary from plan to plan. These are set in accordance with long period objectives. Long period objectives are common to all 5-year plans and are also called objective of planning. Now discuss long period objectives. Objectives of planning or long period objectives are growth, modernization, self-reliance, equity, full employment. First objective is growth. It was because a backward and stagnant state of Indian economy on the eve of independence that Indian economic planning had to focus on economic growth as the primary objectives. Growth refers to increase in the country's capacity to produce the amount of goods and services within the country. A good indicator of economic growth in the language of economics is a steady increase in the gross domestic product. The GDP is the market value of all goods and services produced in the country during a year. It is necessary to produce more goods and services if the people of India are to enjoy, in the words of the first 5-year plan, a more rich and varied modernization. On the eve of independence, India was lacking in the technical knowledge. India was not able to reduce cost of production and also not able to compete with international brands. Therefore, modernization was required to increase the use of capital and machinery, change in social outlook and cultural life of people. To increase the production of goods and services, the producer have to adopt new technology. For example, a farmer can increase the output on the farm by using new seed varieties instead of using the old ones. Similarly, a factory can increase output by using a new type of machine. Adaptation of new technology is called modernization. It refers to those institutional changes in economic activities which make an economy progressive and modern. Third point is self reliance. Self reliance means not depending on external help. This is another major objectives which target the non-interference by foreign countries in areas of food supplies, capital investment and debt. A nation can promote economic growth and modernization by using its own resources or by using resources imported from other nations. The first 7 5 year plan gave importance to self reliance, which means avoiding imports of those goods which could be produced in India itself. This policy was considered a necessity in order to reduce our dependence on foreign countries, especially for food. It was necessary because it was feared that dependence on imported food supplies, foreign technology, and foreign capital may make India's sovereignty vulnerable to foreign interference in our policies. Fourth is equity. Along with growth and modernization, it is also important to ensure that economic development is shared by all the citizens to promote social justice. स्टूडेंट, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि ग्रोथ मॉडरेशन के साथ साथ इक्विटी का होना, ये सुनिश्चित किया जाए कि all citizens can get benefit from growth and modernization. Then you can say equity is the backbone of any economy. Improving standard of living of weaker section of the society, reducing income and regional inequalities to promote social justice, growth, modernization and self-reliance by themselves may not improve the kind of life which people are living. It is important to ensure that the benefits of economic prosperity reach the poor section as well, instead of being enjoyed only by the rich. Every Indian should be able to meet his or her basic needs such as food, a decent houses, education and health care, etc. Inequality in the distribution of wealth should be reduced. And last, full employment. Full employment is a situation when everyone who is able and willing to work is working, is engaged in some job activities which brings him income. It implies that there should be a higher rate of active participation of the working age group in economic activities of the country. Full employment also rules out the existence of poverty and unemployment. Full employment is a common goal of 5-year plans and is directly related to economic growth of the country. Now let us recapitulate. State whether the following statement are true or false. First, market economy is a planned economy which is under direct control of government. This statement is false because market economy is controlled by individual or individual and market force. Second question, the planning commission was set up in 1950 in India. This statement is true. Long period objectives are also called objectives of plan. This statement is false because long period objectives are called objective of planning. So this is false. Fourth, gross domestic product is an indicator of economic growth of an economy. This statement is true. Full employment implies absence of unemployment in an economy. This statement is false. Now we shall discuss about agriculture. Agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. Agriculture refers to all those processes which are related to production of food crops, rice, wheat, jowar, and non-food crops, jute, cotton, etc. Agriculture produces goods through exploitation of natural resources. Importance of agriculture in the Indian economy. First point is highest contribution to GDP. Contribution of agriculture to GDP is maximum. It is nearly 20% of GDP, which shows importance of agriculture. Though contribution of agriculture has reduced from 51% in 1951 to 17.1% in 2009, still nearly 1/4 of India's GDP depends on the primary sector, to which agriculture is the biggest contributor. Second, supply of basic necessities. The basic necessities such as wheat, rice, pulses, oilseeds, etc. are produced which cater to about 125 crore of population. Third is source of employment. Agriculture is a major source of employment. Nearly 64% of working population depends on agriculture sector. It means that agriculture is the principal source of generating employment. Fourth, provides raw material. This sector supplies raw materials to industries, for example, seeds for oil industry, cotton for textile industry, sugar cane for sugar industry, etc. It implies that industrial growth depends on growth of agriculture sector. Next, contribution to domestic and international trade. Agriculture plays a significant role in the nation's domestic and international trade. India exports tea, coffee, dry fruits, spices, etc. And thus, agricultural sector is instrumental in the generating domestic income and foreign exchange for the country. Next, useful to transport industry. Agriculture serves the basic support to grow transport industry, railways and roadways are the major carries of farm produce of agriculture sector. Now we discuss future of agriculture. First is low productivity. It refers to growth rate of production in agriculture. Productivity is low in India. It is evident from the following table that productivity is very low as compared to the other countries. Let us table crop, rice and maize. Country India and productivity kilogram of output per hectare of land. India 2900 kilogram. Japan 6420 kilogram. USA 7830 kilogram. In maize, India 1180 kilogram. China 4900 kilogram. France 7560 kilogram. It can be observed that productivity of rice and maize is very low in India compared to other countries. It implies backwardness of Indian agriculture. Second, dependence on nature. As agriculture is highly dependent on rainfall, therefore the agricultural production is highly uncertain. Good rainfall would imply high production and vice versa. Third is dependence on traditional inputs. Indian agriculture depends on traditional inputs like cow dung, manure, simple tools and implements, etc. Modern inputs like pesticides, insecticides and chemical fertilizer, etc. are not used in abundance. Therefore, the farmers are not able to produce marketable surplus as required. Fourth, a small land holdings. A farmer holds a small size of land holdings for cultivation. It is because of law of inheritance and poverty of farmers. A small holdings further compound the problem of subsistence farming as cost of production increase on a small plot of land compared of revenue generated by it. Next, subsistence farming. It is because of lack of awareness, a small holdings and use of backward technology that farming in India is subsistence oriented. A farmer produce just for his self consumption and not for commercial purposes. So dear students, subsistence farming only can do on families. This farming is not for commercial purpose. And last, disguised unemployment. It is very common in Indian agriculture that more than required number of people are working on farms. It seems that all are working, but if some of them are withdrawn from farms, the total production would not reduce. In other words, we can say marginal product of labor is zero. And now we shall discuss about problems of Indian agriculture. A brief discussion of problems of Indian agriculture is given below. First is low level of productivity. Agriculture productivity in India is very low. Lack of technology and irrigation facilities caused low level of production. For example, per hectare productivity of rice in India is nearly one third of Japan, and of wheat is nearly one third of France. Second, land tenure system. Most of the landlords in India let out their holdings to others for farming. They depend on rental income and are termed as absentee landlords. They share the revenue but not the cost of cultivation. Therefore, the tillers of the soil are not left with marketable surplus and land continues to be used as a mere source of subsistence. Third is a small land holdings. There is a problem of subdivision and fragmentation because of a small and a scattered land holdings. These result in uneconomic holdings because there is wastage of time, money and efforts because of a small and a scattered holdings. Students, India में this is serious problem in agriculture because heritage policy in India, so land divide by one by one generation. So a small land holdings is big problem for adopt new technology. Fourth is dependence on nature. Farming in India is dependent on rainfall. There is great deficiency of permanent means of irrigation. That is why production and productivity of agriculture remains low due to lack of sufficient water supply. Next, backward techniques of production. We generally use old traditional techniques of production. It is because of conventional outlook towards farming. Indian farmer hesitates in adopting new and scientific techniques of production. He does not like to act as entrepreneur who works to make profits. Indian farmers' approach towards agriculture is only subsistence oriented. 6. Lack of finance. Indian farmers are not basically rich and do need financial help. They don't get sufficient credit facilities and reasonable rates of interest. They are exploited by the private money lenders as there is lack of institutional sources. Example, banks, cooperative societies and other financial institutions in rural areas. Next, lack of organized marketing structure. There is no proper organized marketing system to facilitate sale of produce by the farmers. Even if it exists, farmers are not aware of it. Also, they are sometimes forced to sell their crops to mahajans and other money lenders who give them easy loans. Because of all this, the farmers are not able to recover from the poor state of being subsistence farmer. Now, multiple choice question. First question is refers to an arrangement by which central problem of an economy are solved. A. Economic system. B. Mixed economy. C. Modernization. D. Socialist economy. The correct answer is economic system. Second question. The Planning Commission was set up in 1948, B 1950, C 1952, D 1961. The correct answer is 1950. Third question is implies use of advanced technology. A. modernization, B. globalization, C. privatization, D. planning. The correct answer is modernization. Question fourth, the central problem of an economy are what to produce, B. how to produce, C. for whom to produce, D. all of these. The correct answer is all of these. Next, very short question for homework. First question, which economic system was investigated by India after independence? Second question, name common goals of 5-year plans. Third, what were the major policy initiatives in agriculture sector? Fourth, mention main feature of economic planning. Fifth question is mention main problems of Indian agriculture. Sixth, define plan. Seventh, why did India opt for planning? Question number 8, what are HIV seeds? 9, what is marketable surplus? Thank you.